Oops. Whoops. I did a whole talk and I didn't hit go live, so I just talked to myself for 27 minutes. Then I had to take a couple DOGs out for their last walk around. Then I was like, okay. Should I still do one? Alright, well, I guess I will. You got enough to eat and all that jazz, Ma? You comfy cozy? Alright. Man, as soon as the sun goes over the hill, it gets freaking dark here. Like, it gets spooky dark here. I think my tomato plants are done for. The temperature didn't drop, but they look like they froze, but I don't know. I'm ready to let them go. They're not gonna really go. They're not gonna produce red tomatoes. Every year I learn something new on how to grow them or how not to. I made cookies today. I got 38. I yielded 38 this time. And then I got these cool, my friend sent me these cool cellophane packages. See, because I think, so there's just right for two. They think they're too big for one. And I think that's kind of wasteful. But my cookies are supposed to be eaten with the buddy anyway. They're good by themselves. You can have them by yourself. I think things in life are just better when they're shared with other people. I've come to find out. And I've lived a whole life of independence. And it's taken me a long time to come to that realization. Food tastes better when it belongs to somebody else. Like, I've had people go to Jack in the Box and buy me hamburger, I'd buy them lunch, and I'd be like, get one of these too, and then let me have it. Because food has always tasted better to me when it's belonged to somebody else. So I just put those up. I didn't pack up a bunch. I will, because tomorrow I plan on giving like half of them away. They're real good. I toasted in the little toaster oven that I got. I toasted coconut. Either people love coconut or hate it. I get it. There's no in between. I love it. I like toasted coconut. And then I use mini chocolate chips. I wish I had some pecans. I would have freaking maybe those little caramel balls. Mix those up. Make like chocolate turtle type things. I think maybe I'm gonna try that because I get real. I want to bake more in the winter because it's cold, and it's fun for me. So I used about 31 grams of shake, trim, whatever you want to call it, and 2 sticks of butter, so it's nice and they're nice. I always try one after I make it, and every now and again I'll make a batch and I'll be like, it's been a good half hour, 45 minutes, and I'm not really feeling these very much, And I probably oughta, because there's 31 grams in the butter. So, what's happening? And so, and then all of a sudden I'll do something and I'll be like, alright, there it is. Alright. My back has been wrenched so bad lately, though, it's making me crabby. I'm trying so hard not to be crabby, and I'm not taking it out on anybody else. I can feel it inside. I've actually been in a pretty good mood in the realm of allowance, just allowing things to be. Mom and I watched, I said it, Uh, um, we watched last night. We started it, and then it was starting to get to be her bedtime, and her bedtime's my bedtime because I go to sleep right after her. Pretty much, I'll turn off TV and everything, and just like find a YouTube video on and put it on for my bedtime story. And that'd be cool if Crystal Time put one out tonight. Um, but we watched that Men in Black 4. I said 3 earlier, but it's the 4th installment of that franchise, and I don't remember the third. I mean, it's true. I don't know. Like, it's the same. Those things are like the same thing with me with the Terminator, because like I was on. I remember the first one. I was 10 when the first one came out, and then I was in high school when the second one came out, and that was also the night. The night we saw that was the year the class ahead of me, 91, they graduated, and then my brother's 2 good friends, he went to their graduation, and then we all went to see Terminator 2 afterwards. And then when we came out, they're like, war started. That's when the war kicked off in Desert Storm. And then I was in Operation Iraqi bullshit. After knowing people in Desert Storm and knowing what it really was, too. It's just all bullshit. People are fed bullshit, man. It's all lies. It's all lies. It's all... Wars are... There is no threat. We, in a lot of countries, think of us as the threat. You know? Nothing we ever did is like... I mean, we ruined a lot of people's lives. I called today's talk. The truth always comes out, because Mom, that's something that Mom's been drilling in my head since I was a little girl. And every time they have a day like tomorrow, I didn't know it was going to be one of those days until until this week, when they're like, oh, the 23rd, the 23rd, the 23rd. End of the world, blah, blah, you know. Something big's gonna happen, you know, and it's this neighborhood saying it, and this camp saying it, and this neighborhood saying it, and I'm like, well, yeah, they throw stuff out there, and if everybody believes it, then, you know, perception's reality, and it's easier to set up beliefs that instill the freaking fear of God into the consciousness of society, and people are all freaked out. They're way easier to freaking control, manipulate. I speak from experience. Ma, Luna's mad because you're not back on the back chair, because she wants to sit in the chair that you're sitting in. She's just going to lay there until you get up, and as soon as you get up, your mom's chair won't even get warm, because when I'm done with this talk, we're going to go brush teeth, so Mom will get up out of the chair, and Luna will be right on it. It's pretty cute how she does that. Huh, Ma? You getting tired, Ma? It's starting to get dark earlier here. And when I used to test it when I was a kid, I used to test it. Mom would say the truth always comes out, because she always knew when I was doing something I shouldn't be doing. I mean, parents know. You know, parents know when their kids are up to... They know. They got it like this sixth sense, unless they don't care. Well, Mom cared enough to know, and I remember, like... you know, in high school, you get booze, and, you know, and one time, I went out with some friends, and we got some, like, Cisco and some schnapps and stuff, and I stashed it in the backyard. And Mom said the dog found it. I don't know if that's true or not. But how she found it, like, I did a pretty good job of stashing it. But she still found it, you know? And And so, I mean, throughout the years in life, I've tried to test it out, and I don't like lying. I'm a terrible liar. You can see it all over my face. I trip over my words. I mean, my tells are just like, it is obvious when I'm lying. It is very obvious because I'm not comfortable doing it. So I just got in a habit at a very young age to just not. Because it's easier to get out of a problem than it is to... What is it, Ma? I don't know. It just never did no good lying about stuff. But I could always tell when somebody was lying to me, so I always figured that other people could tell when I was lying to them too. So why bother? I'm a very direct person. There's not really... If you look, according to Dr. Longo... I listened to his interpretation of Aries today. I'm like, is this supposed to be all negative, or is it is it the aspects of what the Aries energy embodies? And I heard him say a couple times, I better say something nice because don't want to, demonize or make it sound too bad for Aries, and I'm just like, God. I don't identify with a lot of those things. Some of them I did, yeah, absolutely. But that's the thing, is that we can rise above our astrology anytime we want. Plus, I'm so much more water and air. I am not the typical Aries. I'm also a person that doesn't like to be clumped in, like in groups, like everybody else. So that's probably why God made me not typical Aries. And then the examples that he used. I'm like, dude, don't use those examples. Shit. Those two people are born on my birthday. Don't use them. Use a better example. Christian Stewart and Little Nas. Nah. Not good examples. You're using people that you're using Aries that are and that Paul Logan, I don't even like really, he's just one of those wrestler guys that like to freaking pound on each other for a lot of money, and like, I'm a big man. No, you're not. You used all egocentric freaking examples. You didn't use an Aries that that sacrifices parts of their life because it's the right thing to do. Like, gives up parts of life to take care of, to do the things that are uncomfortable for Aries, because you didn't talk about any kind of Aries like that. You just talked about the egocentric ones. So that tells me that the man is egocentric. See, that's why I listen to the interpretations of astrologers, because they're telling me, based on their interpretations, more about them and how they, it's all how they look at it. I got my own take on astrology. I've been tracking astrology since I was a very young girl, because I remember looking at the big old piece of parchment paper laid out on a table. It was huge. It was laid out on a big, and I was like, that's me? Mom said, yep. Wonder whatever happened to that. She had it done when I was born. It was butcher paper. That's how white it was. That's how they used to get butcher paper. So, big old rolls of paper. It was all driven not on that. So, I know some things about astrology, psychology, patterns. It's just all, that's what every organization is like a frequency, like every job, and I'm seeing the frequency of fear in a lot of places. I can tell because people are getting more indignant in the way that, like, they're making me go through hoops just because they fucking can. There is no policy about, I go in, a buddy of mine gets Western Union. Right? He don't got no driver's license. I said, I can get it for you. I got a driver's license. No problem. I can do that. Because the other guy that does it for him, because he don't got no license, he he charges him like $40 to do it, and the guy only gets like $250. So it's like, it's like a fifth. It's like shitty. It's a shitty deal. So I'm like, dude, it's in the grocery store. It'll take me a minute, right? So I go over there, and the lady, she comes over, and I'm just trying to be accommodating. She was talking with her coworkers is what she was doing. She wasn't working. It was early in the morning, just getting ready to start your day, but not really yet. But you're on the clock. You should be helping. That's your post. But here comes Marge. Yeah, I need Western Union. Okay, well, let me just open. Oh, it's taking a while. Let me just open my terminal here. I'm like, all right. I said, that's fine. I can come back if you want. No, don't do that, because if you walk away, I'm going to go back over there and continue doing what I was doing before you got here. I said, okay, I will stay. And then I don't know. I mean, what's the code? I give you the code. What's my name? Here's my license. That should have been it. She had me standing there for 5 minutes because she could. Were you born in the United States? What fucking difference does it make? Give me the fucking money. You're holding me up because you can't, because I took you away from your conversation that you were having with your coworkers. And that's how it really was. See, I go into situations, and there's a way that people are presenting how these things are, and there's a way of how things really are. When I was a kid, I was a little girl, we had to accept a lot of fucking bullshit treatment because people didn't want to fucking get up off their ass and waste their time on welfare recipients, on poor people like us. So I get up in the middle of the night, I'd be screaming with an earache. Mom would take us to the emergency room. There would be nobody around, and we would still be there for 5 hours. It's all, the world is like, it's all it's not about people and taking care of people and make sure people are okay and the care. It has not jack shit to do about that. This world is about power. It's about control. It's about dominance. It's about manipulation. It's not about good orderly direction. It's not about being direct. See, the course of my life, I've seen, I was given books, Go Dog Go. Do you like my hat? No, I don't like your hat. Okay, that's cool. Have a nice day. All right, cool. You too. Why does everybody gotta go around liking everybody's motherfucking hats? And so I go out, Marge, why don't you go along to get along? Because that shit's stupid. And that shit's stupid. I went along with the United States military, the United States Air Force, just to find out that we're the fucking assholes. To Iraq, we're the assholes. Afghanistan, we're the assholes. We're the murderers. We're the killers. To Syria, we're the asshole. And then to come back and to know that we're the asshole, and to be surrounded by a bunch of other people in the Marines that are like, oh fuck, we're the asshole. A lot of them liked being the asshole. A lot of people like being the asshole. It's like, hey man, I got permission to hunt human beings in the land that they're just trying to defend. How fucking fun is that? A lot of people have that mentality. There's the same mentality as like that Hyde guy, that 70s show just got busted for rape, being a rape. That's the same. Oh, it's a dominance thing. Rape is, I'm going to control you. I'm controlling the situation. I understand that you don't want to do this. I don't fucking care. It's all about what I want to do. They're saying Russell Brand's doing that. I heard some of the stories like the one girl he dated was 16 when he was 30. Hey, the country in which he lived made that legal because the whole fucking country is full of perverts. The country I live in New Mexico. I'm ordained, so I go to the county page to get the prerequisites of what people need from time to time to get married. And there's a little excerpt on there on the Taos County page. Get your marriage license. That's still true today, February 22nd, 2023. that young women can, or kids, people can get married at 15 years old as long as they have a signature by their parents. And then you hear all these stories with people's parents giving their kids away to grown ass adults for money, fame, the satisfaction that you let your kid gave your kids to the hand of a predator. I mean, it's so weird, and it's happened forever and ever and ever and ever. It still happens. I mean, a lot of people, I mean, it's gross. These are, I mean, if people are going to talk about what the world is, let's talk about all the things that the world are. Yeah, so all these organizations that exist to help all these, they don't. Give me, I want to hear, I've been looking for years that one person that can come and say, you know what, I'm a better person because the Boys and Girls Club of America, or because of this nonprofit came in. You know, I was on the streets and I just called them up and they took me in, and my life changed because of them. It doesn't happen. That shit don't trickle down. It doesn't trickle down. So we live in societies where all these people are going out just living so wonderful for themselves, doing all these things for themselves, when our spirits are here to do for others. But they're like, no, other people are doing for them. I'm going to go to this football game because other people are doing that for them. I'm going to go on this vacation on this island out in the middle of nowhere because other people are taking care of the people. I work hard, I need to take care of me. The reality of it is there ain't nobody, any place, taking care of nobody like that. Ask the people in Hawaii. Ask the people in Paradise. Ask the people that have been affected by natural disasters all over the place. It doesn't trickle down. I get, see, that's the thing is like, I went to history class. It's the only subject in school I ever failed. I had to take it in history because I was like, it's all perception. It's all bullshit. I said, you're telling me this is how it happened. But if I look at it from over here on this hill, I bet it happened a different way. Or if I was over here and I was with this group and they told me this story. So I always knew that history was subjective. It was based on where people were sitting in the room. And so for me to frickin' adamantly believe one storyline of this is how things went, I didn't buy the whole frickin' Indian thing. Like, they always dressed history up to be so agreeable. Like, oh, nobody was hurt, you know, like, oh, the Indians just gave up their land because they're generous and we have Thanksgiving and all of that stuff. It was just always bullshit, but it's just easier to go along with it than to question it, because that's what people do. Because how many teachers get paid to just say this is how it was, and then and if you get everybody to think this is how it was and not question anything else, then they just get stuck in their own death loops of living the same year. How many people live the same year that over and over as the years progress in life, and all of a sudden they realize, oh God, it's this time of year, so I'm doing this again. And then they look in the mirror, but they're old. But they live the same day. They just live the same day over and over. What an empty life. I hear all these people talking about purpose. My whole life I've known my purpose. I never didn't know my purpose. I don't know why people are so confused. Anybody's purpose on this planet is to add and to accentuate. to make things better than they find it in any kind of way. Whether it's leaving a smile on somebody's face or picking up the garbage that you see, you know? There's all kinds of ways that people could purposefully live a purposeful life so that everybody benefits, not just them. They're doing an electric car symposium in Taos here coming up. I put a comment on it this morning. Let's see, where is it? See, because I'm not allowed to make, like, all the groups where I live, it's you have to approve. The comments have to be approved, and mine are never approved. They're not. Because these people are so fucking biased, man. They got their own agendas with their own clubs and their own... It's all fucking horse shit, dude. Towns could be really cool if it were for the fucking people that owned them. So, this was Taos, the Taos Electric Vehicle Expo. Renewable Taos. See, they're even trying this fucking bullshit. There's like 7,000 people in this town. In the whole county, there's like 35. Most of the people that live in this county are from other fucking states. This is like their secondary home. And then the rest have been here for fucking the beginning of time. So the Taos Electric Vehicle Symposium, Saturday, September 23rd, so it's tomorrow, at the Taos Public Library, from noon to 4. And all I said was, will they be talking about how batteries cost from $4,000 to $20,000? Will they discuss how batteries lose their ability to hold a charge? All of them do. All of them do. Every battery, from your little Duracell up to your car batteries, they ultimately get to the point where they will not hold a charge. So you can put all the they drain quicker. Won't hold a charge. That's what draining fast is. Your phone, they drain quicker. Won't hold a charge. Gee, I just had 100%. Now I'm down to 2. Won't hold a charge. Will they talk about how cold weather drains a battery quicker? You just can't give the pros. You gotta give the cons too, or you are a con and have an agenda. Did they post my comment? No, they didn't, because they only want people to see one side of things, because they already have in line probably their new EVs for the Taos County and the Taos City and stuff like that. There's 16-year-old kids living on the street. Their parents threw them out. You know, there's no place for them to go. But if you know the right people, you can get on a list, and the local C8, like, shelter/thrift store, you get a check from them for $200. But some people qualify. Anytime there's a group where people qualify, where you got to qualify for something, that's somebody saying, you can have it, I'm going to help you. No, not you. Ultimately, it comes down to that. If people want to help people, people will help people. As we can see around the whole fucking planet, as there's like puddles of refugees everywhere, they're like talk about, oh, these are the people, you know, you got people coming up over the border, they're gonna rape your kids, they're gonna do all this shit. No, when I was raped when I was a baby, it was not by a migrant immigrant. It was by a white boy. Yeah, so you know, they create borders and then say you can't go over it, and then when you go over it, you're... But animals, we're human beings. We migrate like birds do. So there's been a lot of, like, you know, people from Central America that have been migrating, you know, snowbirds. They do it in just America. But there's tribes that have lived on this planet that used to migrate from Canada down and up and down and up, and that's just, they just went back. That's what you do. You migrate. You move around. How nice for people to create lives where they could just live their life in a cushy little bubble. While other people are out here, we're all out here just trying to survive. Just trying to keep a fucking roof over our head. But, you know what? You know, we can't because those fucking temporary housing, Airbnbs all over the place. They're ruining shit for people. But they're going back because people are sick of getting their shit. Because people are dirty, man. People are fucking gross. And so people are getting their shit broke and trashed and stuff. So it's just like, oh, if you get a long-term renter in there. That's how it is in Taos. It's a pick and choose. I think there's enough places for here to live, but it's just finding the place, the right fit for you. Because it's because people just look at you. It's like, yeah, I'll take your money. No, I don't want to rent to you. It's always been like that. Like they have all these rules, regulations for like discrimination and stuff. People get freaking hired all the time because of how they look and all that stuff. Not what they do. People don't get hired for what they know anymore. If they did, the freaking world wouldn't be shit because there would be more knowledgeable people in positions. But you got all these people in positions of important positions where people should know what they're doing and know what they're talking about, but because they know, you know, their uncle owns the operation, or, you know, like how many politicians have their job or in these big important offices to keep peace that don't have, like, they don't know how to change a tire, like they don't have any practical skills. All they know is the program of what they've been taught. It's gonna get gross, dude. But I don't know. We're fine, huh, Ma? We're good. Our world has always been never really directly connected to the rest of the world. We've kind of lived on the fringes, huh? Like the whole time. So tomorrow they say is the end of the world. Maybe it's gonna be an end of the world for a lot of people this time. I wouldn't say my sister dying last year on a year ago tomorrow. It was the end of the world. It was the end of the world as I knew it. It was the end of the world. The world didn't exist with her on it anymore. So it was in fact a different world. And then I think I was more sad when I found out that, like, she had this whole other life, like this whole family. She had 3 kids. She was married, and like none of them even knew that she had a sister or a brother. Like, she just did never. I mean, that's. Didn't end my world though. I've seen people they've lost people that are so significant to them in their world that their worlds were shattered with the loss. So, however it plays out, I was watching Cliff High. I was watching that Bonacci guy, Santos Bonacci. I mean, everybody has their own interpretation, their own version. I'm just kind of here to wait and see. Whatever. I mean, how many times has my world, my world ends, like, when there's a threat of me being homeless with Mom. That's when it's like, I feel like there's impending doom for me. But anyway. You're so cute, Artie Pants. Are we done talking? Yeah? So I do recognize, though, a lot of truths are coming out for other people. More people are starting to see what I've seen. So it's like my reality of the world is starting to open up because more people are starting to see that the truth always comes out. Like, you can't hide stuff, man. You can't. People think they're so crafty and so wily, and they're really not. They're not. People are very predictable. People are very transparent. I was in gratitude today. I was in gratitude today because I guess I don't always get to see how my choices benefit me, because they always feel like, oh, I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do, but doing the right thing isn't always fun, kind of thing, right? And so I have a personal constitution, part of my personal constitution that and I haven't liked anybody for a long time. But I'll meet people and I'll be like, ooh, maybe I like them. I'm going to wait and see. So I don't try to rush into things. My rule is 90 days, 3 months, quarter of a year. That a season that you hang out with somebody for 3 months before I get physically involved with them, want to get intimate, all that stuff. Just spend time with them, right? Now, I do that because I haven't had the experience. I've only had one night stand. I was like 20 years old. I didn't like how it felt. It felt cheap. I'm a prude. I'm okay with that. So I hold off and I wait. And then, ever since I decided to do this, it's always worked out in my favor, because every time I've been glad that I didn't follow through with trying to have a physical relationship with someone, because I end up just not feeling like that for them. So I'm glad, because I don't want to go. I can imagine how many people on this planet have just go around, do the fucking chuck, and get the carry that energetic weight of just, being intimate, chasing orgasms and stuff. Maybe you got one, maybe you didn't. Was it worth it? I mean, it's just all so weird to me. But I just had that experience. It was just verified today, so I was in gratitude today. And then seeing, like, anyway, I'm not going to talk about what I'll talk about that part offline. I don't need to say everything on here. I'm just I'm glad. And I'm also glad that during this retrograde season that I haven't gotten back with any kind of ex. That I haven't talked to an ex. An ex hasn't reached out to me. I haven't reached out to an ex. That's cool. I'm glad with that too. So I'm done yammering. Tomorrow's a new day. I think I'm going to go into town. My back is still so jacked up. I just wonder if this is like going to be my new norm until it starts getting warm again, which makes me sad. We'll just cross one day at a time, man. One day at a time. It's no different than any other time in life. Just got to live one day at a time. It's about all I got for now. Hope you have a